What's happening, gamers? It's K-Mega 405 coming to you live from 405, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Be so kind to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, all of that. I really do appreciate everybody with the well wishes. Me just coming out of surgery, all of that. I wanted to make a video once I found out this whole situation with Sega and Xbox, pretty lit. I was out there, man, you know what I'm saying? So and I'm still not out the woods yet, but I do appreciate everybody that's been hitting me up, giving me well wishes and asking about fight night, and and for the people who's listened to me on next podcast, expecting to see some GRG coming back, and that definitely will happen. I just trying to recover, but I definitely wanted to talk about this. So if I'm a little bit slurred, a little bit or whatever, a little slow, I apologize. I'm still trying to recover. I'm like 65%, but I'll be back and ready to go, hopefully by Friday night. Hopefully even by Thursday, but we'll see. Anyway, I've had time to play some games and in the process, and I beat Far Cry 6. Cool game, all that. I'd like to talk more about that here in the future. But other than that, let's get into this. And let's talk about this Sega situation, right? Because years ago, I've talked about the whole Sega situation, and it's been hot and cold pretty much, right? Like, it's been one motion like, well, Microsoft does have the money to acquire, and they meet all the expectations when it comes to like having a company based in Japan, things like that. But then I backed off, and then I'm kind of like, look, man, this is more of a partnership. I could see more than Sega being sold. And then I reverted back, and then I've kind of went back to my original stance. But when you look at this whole situation now, when we hear this news, which this has been news that's been talked about for years. This isn't, I think the very first video that I talked about this whole Sega Xbox situation was back in 2018. So this has been news that's been talked about for a really long time. And you never really actually know how these situations will play out because they're so far advanced than when the public actually gets the chance to know them. Even when you get information from insiders or from certain sources and things like that, you still don't actually know how deep the ties go. And so when you look at this right here from this standpoint, you get the understanding that, look, okay, this is a strategic alliance, Sega and Microsoft explore this for titles for Sega and establish a new generation development environment. So really basically this is for more cloud-based games, and so they're going to be going with Azure, if you haven't really heard about this information. And so that right there, and there's other entities out there that's has the stuff. Then you have Amazon, you have others out there, but Sega wants to partner up with Microsoft with this, which is absolutely smart, because if you really think about it, one of the biggest games out there online is Phantasy Star, and that's seemed to be doing well. I do believe that it's still an exclusive to Xbox for the console aspect of it, and it's also on PC and things like that. So that also, and Microsoft has always had a good, strong relationship going back well before even the Dreamcast. We're talking about going back to the days of Genesis, and so it makes sense, but also it's business. And a lot of people was trying to downplay this situation, and rightfully so in some degree, because this is still new news. This isn't anything that is concrete and talking about an acquisition, but this is showing that there is communication. Now, this is where I go into depth and get into my personal thoughts about how I feel that this will play out. Now, so when we look at what the president and CEO of Sega Corporation says, we're very pleased to announce today that we're considering, and see, this was at the time when they said they were considering, we're already kind of seeing that this situation is already is kind of in motion. So this is beforehand, but they're going with Microsoft to help develop Sega's new Super Game initiative, as well as build next gen game development environment. So more games within the cloud. This is something that's been in the future. If you haven't noticed that if you have a Switch, there are a lot of games that is based off of the cloud. Like Dying Light is a game that is through the cloud that you can play through your Switch. So, and this is other type of technology right now that when people have actually been starting to play, if they have the older consoles like the Xbox One Fat or the Xbox One S, there's this new, there was a new thing that was rolling out on Xbox to where you could start downloading your games through the cloud and you can start playing them, which is absolutely a smart decision for those who haven't had a chance to get an Xbox One S, or if they don't want an Xbox One S. It's really not that hard to find an S, I don't believe. It is very hard to find an Xbox One, or I should say Xbox Series S, X. So to get an Xbox Series S, I don't think it's that hard to get, but it could be in certain regions. I don't know. Out here, absolutely not. It's pretty easy to find a Xbox Series S. But for those who just wants the Series X, it's been pretty difficult. So if you still have an Xbox One X, or if you have an Xbox One Fat or an Xbox One S, having this to be downloaded and to play these games through the cloud helps out a lot. Now, of course, you have to have a good internet connection, but I mean, this is not anything new. I mean, if people who has a PlayStation has PlayStation Now or play anything off of PlayStation, they know that they have to have a good internet connection. So, I mean, people that want to try to make these excuses and try to say anything differently is minute at this point. But obviously, Sega's wanting to get these type of big super games that could be played on mobile, where it could be played on consoles, and on PC, etc. And if these games are going to be on the scale of what we see with Phantasy Star or anything else, that's going to be a really good look. So when you look at this situation with Azure, Xbox is going to recoup some cash from that, and that's a good look to get more companies to look, especially over the pond, to want to join Microsoft and Azure. So of course we see Sarah Bond, CVP, Microsoft Corporation. She said Sega has played such an iconic role in the gaming industry and has been a tremendous partner over the years. We look forward to working together as they explore new ways to create unique gaming experiences for the future using Microsoft Cloud technologies. Together, we will reimagine how games get built, hosted, operated, with the goals in adding more value to players and Sega alike. So now, this is the thing too, right here, that where I get into my point of view. This goes a little deeper than this, right? I mean, we've had these discussions before with other partnerships with Microsoft and how people were trying to downplay it. Oh, well, this is just that. It's really not anything going this way. It's not going that way. Microsoft is just pretty much just going to allow these corporations to just do what they want to do, and Microsoft or Xbox doesn't get anything returned. We've heard this for the last 5 years, right? And slowly but surely, those narratives has been dying, because what we've been seeing is that these moves that Microsoft, or I should say Xbox staff, has been doing, they have been bringing a lot of new content. This was kind of like the very beginning of when we started knowing about Game Pass and all these other type of entities that Xbox was introducing to the public. And people were just thinking that, well, Microsoft is just so desperate, or Xbox is so desperate, that they're just willing to get ran over by any corporation just to try to have something to say to have the fan base excited. Wrong. Ever since that they've been doing these partnerships, these deals, there's been something that's been coming out of this that's benefited Microsoft, I should say Xbox. And this is no different. This is not saying that there's going to be a brand new exclusive IP that's going to be dropped, right? Because, I mean, this conversation has been going on for a very long time. I mean, let's not forget that Creative Assembly has worked on Halo Wars 2. Then you have Relic that's just worked on the just recent released Age of Empires 6, which is actually a fantastic game. It's me getting going to PC and playing mouse and keyboard and things like that to have me enthralled. That's saying something. So that's a Sega problem. Then there's other titles out there that Sega that has been working with. Of course, like I've said before, was Phantasy Star. This could also lead to a whole other entity of things. Of course, look, if you look at Yakuza series, which a lot of Xbox fans are in love with. We are all anticipating the time where we could hear about Persona, and when that can finally be dropped on the Xbox platform. I feel that this is just one of these partnerships that is going to benefit both companies in two different ways. One way is for Sega to make these type of games using the Azure through Microsoft, and Xbox getting access to certain games that has not come to Xbox in the previous generation or ever. And I think that is the relationship that the Xbox team has been working over there with Sega and in Japan, that will have more of these titles come over. And I should say just in the East, period, that will be coming over to the Xbox platform. So yeah, I feel that there's a lot more involvement. But of course, they're not just going to come out and just say what's going to happen right here and there, because there's still things that's got to be worked out and ironed out for sure. But I do feel that this is a really good partnership. Of course, like I said, Sega and Microsoft has been working together for a really long time, for decades now. So we definitely see some things that's really going to be working in their favor. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts about this. What do you think this partnership will bring? Do you think that it's just only going to bring, like some people have been saying, just this segment, or do you think that there's going to be more? I will definitely be working on some more videos. I'm wore out already. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Until the next video, or if not, I will definitely be doing GRG, and then we're getting back and doing some fight night. I'll definitely appreciate you guys, the well wishes. I will be back. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Until the next one. Peace.